Okay, cool.
We're looking for Anday. Oh, it says live on YouTube.
Sorry.
Right now?
Play it, Peter.
It's a silent guitar, so you can't hear anything. You probably can't hear something though.
It's live right now.
I can still hear it.
Is it? We're live?
Wow.
Oh.
That's what it says on my
exactly
Zoom.
what I thought it was.
Got it.
Yeah, I said, yeah, you can sense it being live.
Right. I don't see it through YouTube though. Oh, there it is. Just make sure you turn the sound down if you're on the YouTube feed.
All right.
There you go. And then you could pop
We're
up the
live.
chat. You could pop out the chat too if you want. If you go down
I
the
didn't
top
see
right.
that.
Yeah, if
It
it's
sounds like
on the top right of the chat, you could pop it
all
out.
right.
and
Well,
then-
I'm live here with Lobate, Scarp, almost everybody
Hey!
of the band.
Hi.
Evan's still on vacation. I don't think he's ever going to leave Canada.
He's staying there permanently.
Seems like it.
Okay. I'm getting a little bit of feedback here.
Is it good feedback or bad feedback?
Okay, you can hear me. That's good, Kevin. Okay, well, I'm here with Andy, Peter, Stephen, and Christina from Lobate Scarp.
Hi.
Hello.
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 Hi, everybody. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Ron. Thanks for having us.
Oh, you're welcome. And here comes Andy.
Oh, yeah.
Yay.
Fashionably late.
He came in at just the right time.
Just the right time.
It always takes Andy a little while to get here because he has to tune all of his basses.
Anday.
He's got all the strings, so he has to tune all the strings.
Good
Hey,
mom.
Andy.
Hey, Andy.
The strings attached. Can you guys?
Exactly. What's up?
All right. Well, it had a little bit of a, sounded like at the beginning on my end, it sounded like you guys were underwater. Now it's sounding better. Hear you guys loud and clear.
Nice.
So you got, want to hear about your Rossfest
Yes.
experience. Now, was this your first time
Remember
going
this
to
one?
Rossfest?
This was our first time indeed. First time in Rossfest. I think most of us first time in Sarasota. Yeah, it was quite an experience. This is our first time out of state, actually. As a whole band, it was our first time out of
wow.
state. So there were a bunch of people there that they had our album since 2012, our
Right.
debut album. And they came up to us and they were like, we've been wanting to see you guys like forever. And thank God you guys are in our territory now.
Right.
And then we had other people who never even heard of us, which was great because all weekend we had some just random people coming up to us and say, hey, I've never heard of you guys before, never heard a single note, and now I'm a fan. So it was great. We got to meet some old fans, some new fans, some people that I've become acquainted with by going to various prog festivals and prog cruises and stuff like that. So it was really cool to see some of these people I hadn't seen for like 10 years. And so that was really cool.
That is
And
cool.
then
Yeah.
Christina, that was her, Christina just joined the band.
My third gig with the
recently.
band ever.
Yeah, that was her third. She joined the band about a month and a week before we
Oh, wow.
hit the
that's
road to
cool.
Florida. So, let's have Christina say how was that? How was your Rossfest experience?
It was so great. Well, this was my first time going to a prog festival, so I kind of was all like starry-eyed the whole time because just being around everyone that understood and appreciated prog, it was really, really nice. Most places you go, you have to, first of all, you have to explain prog for about 20 minutes before you can have a conversation. So it was really neat because everyone already knew all of our musical roots and all of our musical influences and the music that we get all nerdy about and excited about. So it was great just having conversations with people that I never met before that were just sort of instant friends and very friendly, and it was an amazing experience, and all the volunteers there were incredible. They were just so helpful, and it was a wonderful environment. Really, I had a great time.
Oh, yeah.
I was wishing it would have lasted a little longer. It went by so quickly.
We're
You know,
excited
you-
about the next festival, whenever that may be. Nothing's scheduled yet, but give us a
Right.
call, festivals.
Yes,
Mhm.
call us. All the festivals, just call us.
You know what's missing is when I first started going to festival back in '93, we had one in Los Angeles. It was a 3-day festival in Los Angeles, '93 to 2000, and then
Wow.
Was that
this
Cal
other-
Prague?
No, that was Prague Fest.
Oh,
Oh, Prague
Cal,
Fest. Yeah.
Cal Prague happened later on, like in the 2000s.
That was before I moved to California.
Mhm.
Wow. I didn't know it was 3 days.
Yeah, it was a 3 days. It was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Wow.
And then in the mid '90s, down in Baja, Mexico, they had a festival, and that was 4 days.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they went for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They had the bands in the theater, but then at the hotel, they had 2 bands playing there. So it's like they had, I think, like 20 bands in the whole thing, and it's
Wow.
like from all over the world. And the town opened up. It was Mexicali,
Mm.
and they opened up the whole town. People, from the town just rolled into the concert at the hotel, and
Wow.
that's the one thing with all these festivals, at least here in the United States that I know of. It's a community. Or it's like Christina said, people you never seen before come up to you, and it's like you have common ground with everybody that's there.
Yeah.
it was like
Whereas-
family camp.
Yeah.
Now, Peter, you've been to Rossfest before, but not when it was in Florida, right?
I've not been to. I've played with Kinetic Element at Prog on the Ranch and the other one, Prog Stock. And there's definitely a community and a family kind of camp spirit about them. I think the one in Sarasota, this one that we just did with Rossfest, is a little bit more special because of the weather, to be honest, and the small downtown areas that we could all kind of mingle very easily 1 or 2 blocks from our respective hotels and from the venue. And it was really nice.
Yeah, they had that up before they moved down there. They were at Gettysburg, Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
and that was pretty interesting. I mean, they had like a little downtown Gettysburg, and it's like all the Prague people there, and just kind of took over all the restaurants and the pubs and stuff. It was pretty amazing.
What did you think of your first Prague festival experience, Sandy?
Well, that was so much fun. I like the food. I really enjoyed the dinners that
This
we
guy-
had.
This guy knows how to eat, let me tell you.
Yes, he's a connoisseur.
I'm
Yeah.
with you,
How to
Andy.
eat, he knows how to drink.
Yeah,
No,
I want
it
to
was-
go ahead.
It was a great experience. I was a little bit. I had a few little health issues, going on. Everybody knew about my little cane and everything, but it was great great experience, and great to play in front of an enthusiastic crowd.
How you feeling? How's your leg?
It's better. It's better now. I can actually get around a little bit. I'm off the cane now.
Awesome.
I tore for those of you who don't know, I tore the muscle in my left calf.
Oh,
So I was going around on crutches and a cane for almost 2 months.
Well,
Oh
it's
my
all right.
God.
We
Those
had a
are-
really good time carrying your gear for you and opening doors
Yeah.
for you. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
I'm just gonna
I think-
pretend from that
I think I'm gonna
on
tear
to
my-
get everybody to carry my gear.
I'm going to tear my calf next time, so you guys have to carry my gear.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting because 2 years ago in 2020, Adam was supposed to do the Prague Festival, and it was like coming up to your birthday, and I know
It was on my birthday. We were supposed
Yeah,
to
it
play
was-
on my birthday.
and so you were like really anticipating it, and then the whole pandemic happened, and it was this huge bummer. So this was like kind of full circle for Lobate, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was huge. Yeah. I mean, when I got the news that it was canceled, I mean, it was kind of inevitable, but it was just like to hear the news, like, oh my God, like, because we were like, at the time we were starting to do shows, we're kind of working on the album, and we were going up, and then it was like, oh, psych.
Yeah. Right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of the shows that are opening up, and I mean, right now you got that Cruise to the Edge going on. I think.
Yeah, I think they're getting off the ship right now as we speak.
So
Yeah, Rich Mauser was there. He went this time.
Yeah, Rich is our mixer, co-producer. He engineered a lot of the stuff. We recorded a lot of the new album over at his place, and and he actually played like, I don't know, probably like 8 or 9 instruments on the album as well.
He's amazing.
Oh my God, he's so good. So great to have it, Rich. And by the way, this is Steve Lobate, for those who don't know. He is also the producer of the album, and he engineered much of the album as well. Like before we started off at Rich's place, and then a lot of the recording we did over at his studio, and also at this vintage keyboard studio as well, and in Acton. That was fun. 4 days.
He had like
playing with 40,
60 vintage keyboards
from the 70s, 80s. Oh my
ridiculous. God. Yeah. It was like when I was a kid, what I wanted my bedroom to look like. And I said to my wife, it's like dying and going to keyboard heaven. So cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I got one
amazing
thing to ask you guys. Okay.
One thing? Oh, okay. And then we're out, right? Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
What's your favorite color?
What's your favorite cereal? Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Back to
Count Chocula.
Back to nothing wrong. The other version sound like a studio version, and this one kind of sounded more like a live version.
Oh,
like
that's pretty cool.
It just felt like it was like, okay, it sounded like studio. It's a really good sounding song, and then all of a sudden on this version it seems to be even bigger. Like,
wow, that's cool. Good job, Steve.
Yep.
You guys added things to it, didn't you?
We re-recorded the keyboard solos because we wanted those vintage keyboard sounds on the project. So that was our reason to recall it. And then, of course, once Rich heard it, he was like, oh, and then he started to just make improvements to the mix. So we kind of, on our last day of mixing, did, I don't know, like, maybe 10% improvement to the mix itself, and it just sounded even better. And so we reprinted it, and that ended up on the master for this record. So it's
because it almost sounds like like it was a new song, in a way.
Cool. That's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about having the EP. We have Spirals and Portals and Beautiful Light, and this song are both on it. Of course, we tried to change Beautiful Light as 0 as possible because that one was award-winning and already a masterpiece. And there were a couple things that, with Nothing Wrong, that I felt like, would need to be retouched a little bit. And so we were so glad after we were done. It was just,
Yeah, because I was listening to that earlier today and I was going, I noticed some differences, and it just really feels like it was, the EP was almost like the studio version, and this kind of had a little bit more to it, almost like a live in studio kind of thing.
Cool.
I wonder if that's because Adam had to replay those solos and match like what he did. So remember, Adam, I had you were playing like, I think it was the Oberheim OBXA or whatever.
Yeah.
And you had to like match some like really tough solos.
Yeah. Some of that we had to do like in pieces, like because I didn't know what I played wasn't written. So I just had to kind of do it by ear. And then there was some really fast notes. So we had to kind of do it like in chunks and then kind of put it together to make it sound like it matches.
Don't tell them their secrets.
Oh, okay. I played it all live, people.
But that might be why it feels so more live, is you did have to kind of like almost like relearn them and replay them, which was
yeah, same song, more flavor this time.
They're gonna put that as like a little cereal box
better taste
insert with a little badge that says on yellow, same great taste, more
keyboards, less yeahs.
The Dilruba at the beginning is really nice too.
Yeah, Yeah, Rich played that as well. And I went back. So in between Conduit and Nothing Wrong, when we did the EP, Rich was kind of experimenting with the Daruba, and he I don't know if I think I had about 40 minutes of him just playing it, like just trying to figure it out. And so some of it, like there was a bunch of different snippets, and I was like, oh shit, this would be cool if I put that here and put that here. And so I kind of put that together to make it to extend that song at like kind of transforming into the new world that the album is going to transform into. So like Conduit's like a live. We actually did the first track completely live in the studio. Then we did some overdubs on this with the string quartets, and then it goes into the album. So it's like, oh, you were doing this live, we want to wake you up. And then on the second track, it's like, okay, so now we're gonna give you the rest of the album. Here you go. So it's kind of, we're changing the worlds, sort of, I guess, if that makes any sense to you. That's kind of
I like
what the idea was.
I like how Conduit segues right into Nothing Wrong. Like that feel, that's the one thing with prog is a lot of bands do that, and they do it in such a cool way. And
we had Conduit and Nothing Wrong. We've been playing that live for a good probably 8 years or so. And Nothing Wrong was probably like, as soon as the first album came out in 2012, we had a bunch of people like, how come Nothing Wrong's not on the album? So people were like, what the hell? They were kind of upset because that was like a lot of people's favorite songs. We just started like playing it when the album came out. So that ended up becoming so that back then I had in mind that Conduit was going to open the second album and Nothing Wrong was going to just continue from Conduit. It was going to be one big piece. So I had that in mind all this time. And and even on the EP, we just kind of ran out of time and ran out of money, so I couldn't record Conduit until later on when the album was officially being made. So but that was kind of the concept for the album I had in mind. I wanted to time and space starts off kind of slow, kind of gradually gets you there, but Conduit just kind of just wakes you up and like, here you go, second album, bam.
Exactly. Well, sometimes you got to have that the first song to kind of just like grab the audience and then basically take them on a journey somewhere.
Exactly, that was the goal.
Yeah. Also the one I was telling Adam last night that my girlfriend, who's not really into prog, likes Lifeline.
Oh, cool.
I was playing that in the car and she said, oh, I like that. That sounds really good. And I was
a kind of a police feel to it, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a bit of a police.
It sure does.
Sound,
yeah. Just, well, you got to have, something a little bit accessible once in a while to kind of bring in other audience, because I know from experience, there's a lot of people want to hear something different. They don't know where to go. Sometimes you gotta kind of bait them in and then, show them the whole picture of what else is out there.
Yeah, that's what I like about Adam's music. That's what drew me to it in the first place. Is that, there are 3 songs on this record that are commercially available. Nothing Wrong, you already mentioned, but also Lifeline and Test Tube Universe. And of course, everybody knows Owner of a Lonely Heart by Yes. Everyone knows Tom Sawyer by Rush. And there's certain songs that have sort of crossed over, or like Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel. And so, for me, there's all these hooks in Adam's music, and that's what drew me to it in the first place. So it's like, then it like sort of like sneaks you into prog. So if you didn't know you liked prog, now you might after this record. So so I'm kind of hoping that we can get a lot more radio spin. We've already gotten some radio spin on FM for Test Tube Universe. My son literally requests it like every other day. Hey, can I hear Test Tube Universe? Well, I'm really excited. As a producer, that's what you shoot for, right? So I'm very excited, and I'm hopeful that people will really glom onto it.
Yeah, even the Prague radio stations, they've been playing Lifeline as well as flowing through the change. I think some of them are playing You Have It All right now too, but it was cool to see Flowing Through the Change, 17.5 minute song being played on FM, like in the FM. I mean, they're independent radio shows, mind you, but for some reason, to me, like to have a 17-minute on FM being played, that's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Taking up all those radio waves,
Oh yeah, it's like prog fans can withstand, the big time of 10, 15, 20, 30-minute songs. You can stand
Yeah.
that.
And then
Other
Lifeline
big-
is like the gateway drug to Prague.
Yeah. But it's like, there was very few of the Southern California bands that I really, really like. And you guys are one of them.
Thank you.
I mean,
Thank
I guess your friends, in a museum, they're a good band.
Oh yeah,
And-
Matt Brown and all those guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah, and then their band Ten Jin played at Rossfest,
yeah,
which was great. And we played back in the day, about I don't know, probably about 8 years ago. We had a show with oh, what was their other band? I can't.
Oh,
I thought my brain would be working because I woke up.
Metropolis.
Thank you.
Is it Metropolis?
Heliopolis. Heliopolis.
Yeah, Heliopolis.
Yeah. I played it with Heliopolis and Fido
Yeah,
on that
they're
show.
great.
That was a fun.
yeah.
that was a fun
I
show.
gave them that name, Heliopolis.
You
Oh,
did?
you did.
Yeah.
Very cool name.
Really?
Wow.
Well, you know what it means? It means City of the Sun.
Hmm.
So, L.A., City of the Sun.
Makes
And
sense.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, they did. They were trying to figure out a name and they couldn't do it. And I just was just looking in, I think it was Greek mythology or Egyptian mythology, and then saw that. And I was like, just messaged them as I why not this? And they all goes, okay.
It's a good name.
Yeah. There's been a lot of bands out of the LA area. Some are less than memorable. And at the first Prog Fest, we had two of them. There was one that came out, and I think they're called Citadel, and they sounded pretty okay, but they looked like they were doing a Ren Fair on the stage.
Oh, well, they were dressed up.
Yeah, it looked like we were back in King Arthur time, but they were playing something kind of on the lines of like Styx or something like that. But it wasn't that memorable. But then you got other bands that come out, notably Spock Spirit. They were the big ones come out, and I'll tell you this, not to inflate your ego, Adam. You're on par with them.
Ah,
When I
Wow.
first heard Lobate Scarp, like I told you in the last interview, it's like I found you guys on Instagram, and then I heard the music, and I was like going, "Wow, this is like the next best thing that came out of LA," because it's like you're the next generation, since Fox has been around since the mid '90s, so it's it's your guys' turn, to be the keeper of the flame, so to speak.
I'd love to be the keeper of the flames. Are you guys down for that?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, cool.
100%.
I guess if we have to.
Yeah. Well, now that
I've
Now
got
that-
the flame here.
There it is. Yeah.
We have to have an inspection by the fire marshal.
right. Well, now that everything is opening up, and hopefully there'll be maybe even newer festivals opening up,
Mm.
that maybe someone was maybe planning back in 2020, and then all of a sudden, everything shut down. So who knows?
That'd be great. It'd be great
I
to
mean,
have some more prog shows in California. That would be
Oh
sweet.
yeah.
LA or something.
be nice if someone could actually revive the Prog Fest in
Yeah.
the LA area, because it's perfect area, just like, you know, with Sarasota, you know, you have all the tourist stuff there. LA, you got even a bigger tourist
Yeah,
thing.
and there's a lot of bands out here. There's a great underground scene here. You know, I started on Facebook. I started the Los Angeles Prog Rockers page because I've noticed in LA there's a ton of bands. You know, just LA is so big and so spread out, and there's so much going on all the time. So
I
sometimes
know.
it's just hard to just kind of focus. You know, like a show, make a show happen. So I'm hoping, you know, we could, you know, we've done it every now and then. We get together and we do a show like the Fido and Heliopolis thing that I told you about. We called it Progressive Momentum, but that was only like one thing.
Right.
We did 5 years ago. It showed up on my Facebook memories. We did a show at Molly Malone's called Cinco de Prago.
I saw that.
Like
I saw that memory.
That was 5 prog bands on Cinco de Mayo. That was pretty fun. I had
we also played with Iz. We also played with Iz as well. Remember?
Yeah, we played with
Santa
Iz. So
Monica.
that was pretty cool. That was our show before the pandemic happened. Played at like a theater in Santa Monica. We got to open up for Iz. That was really cool.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of bands out here, and a lot of people are doing prog rock. It's just, you know, not everyone notices it, and it would be cool to get people out and you know, and make a prog scene happen.
Well,
what freaked me out was finding out that Yes is actually on Inside Out now.
Oh yeah,
I had no idea.
That was kind of weird to see that. Yeah. Before Facebook got big, when you remember like Yahoo groups, I had started when I was still living in Southern California. I had started something called the SoCal Prog, and I was trying to get all, you know, I was just basically contacting every prog band at the time. I think this was in '99 or 2000, and I was just so they can use that group as a hub to get together with other bands, so you guys can, you know, like 2 or 3 bands can go and approach a club and say, hey, you know, our bands collectively can draw maybe 200 people, maybe, you know.
Exactly. That's another thing about LA. Like a lot of these local bars, you know, they'll have bookers, and the bookers will just book a band here, and not even knowing if they match or they have a good, you know, it'd be good if they have similar audiences. That's so usually when I book a show, I try to, you know, like I booked Christina's husband's band on our last local show.
Yeah, Chicken Box.
Chicken Box. Yeah. So they're a prog band. And then you know, so that was pretty cool to have us play back to back, and the audience really seemed to have a good time with that one.
Oh yeah, you know, you guys got so many different places there. I mean, so many places closed, but new places open. So
yeah.
And then, you know, I've mentioned this to just about everybody I talk to. It's like, to reach a bigger audience too is when you have your shows, if you can live stream it and charge, you know, you charge the same admission, but you live stream it. So if someone on the other side of the world wants to see you guys but can't afford to fly in, you know, they could be able to watch that. So you'll reach everybody that, you know, let's say everybody that bought the CD, you know, they can tune in, you know, even if it's like 3:00 in the morning their time, you know.
Yeah. I personally think festivals are more fun in LA because with LA, everything's so far apart. And I think with a genre like prog, you get a community of people who are very, very into the style. And it's just more what music is about is, you know, community. And LA in terms of live is the antithesis of community because it's such high turnover in the bars. And, you know, I mean, you could be watching TV or going to the Staples Center. There's so many other things to do. These little short little things I don't feel like they're as good as, a really great festival. I think that's something that people in LA don't do as often as they maybe do in other places. And I think, probably the reason it doesn't happen as much is cost, because everything's so expensive here and there's so many permits and everything like that. But, I still feel like, a festival is probably the best way to prog. Because you can get a much bigger, and people fly in, like they did for Rosfest, and I think that's the thing about a micro niche genre like prog, where there's lots of fans, but they're spread out. And that's why the internet has been just this great boon for niches like prog. Obviously in the 70s, it would be great to return to the heyday of prog, where you had sold out Wembley, and you just have these huge concerts. I think it's, I get so romantic about that time. I wish we could somehow get back to it, But,
oh my God, seriously, that would be amazing.
Oh yeah, there's so much stuff. I mean, if you can get with other bands and find venues, even if it's not a traditional rock venue, I mean, the weirdest place my friend's band played in was in Hollywood. At the time it was called Florentine Gardens, and it was a dance. It was a disco. And they played there, but it had the hugest stage. I mean, it was like double the size of a regular stage. So you can almost put two bands side by side. And I think that place has probably been torn down by now. But
where was it located?
Either Hollywood or Sunset. And then out in the valley, we had this little club FM station. And that was actually more for rock and hard rock bands, but my friend's band, they're a three-piece, and they generally kind of played a hard rock with some prog in it. Well, their bass player didn't show up for the gig, so it was a two-piece, and they didn't know what
tuning his
else.
strings.
No, he was at a beach somewhere, and they couldn't find him. And this was before cell phones, so he couldn't find him. So they decided, the drummer, he had some engineering training, so he told the guy in the sound booth to turn all the bass up on his kick drum and the bass up on the guy's guitar, and so it sounded okay. And it's like they were almost tempted to just get rid of the bass player and just do it like that.
Oh my God, that's
Just
hilarious.
food for thought, Adam. In case Andy's on the beach or something.
In case he
I might be busy
tears his other
swinging a
cat.
light bulb.
Yeah.
I might be busy swinging a light bulb.
Adam and I saw Project at a showcase room in like Echo Park, and
Ryo
that was the
Okamoto's
way to do
band.
music. Yeah, Ryo Akamoto, and who else was it, Adam?
It was Mike Keneally on guitar.
Mm-hmm.
It was Michael Sadler on leads,
vocals for
from
Saga.
Mm-hmm.
And the drummer was, I can't remember his name.
I can't remember.
But anyway, it was like there were probably 150, 200 people at this showcase room. And the thing was, the sound was great. Everyone was there to see the prog. No one was disruptive. No one was out, drinking or having conversations in the middle of the show. And I was like, and I didn't need earplugs. Like, it was loud, but not too loud. My ears didn't ring afterward. I was like, this is how I want to do shows like forevermore. Like, I don't want to go to a bar. And so, yeah, there's a lot of other ways to see music live that doesn't have to be, the barroom thing.
It's like we played at that Alva showroom.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the same thing. The first time I played there, I thought that's the way to do it. You got 90, 100 people there, and they're there just to see the music, and it's a great sound, great stage. Great
I would have liked to have seen Alba's showroom, but I was still mixing the record. Rich and I were like, yeah, maybe we'll make it tonight. No, we ended up, I think we were up till like 3 a.m. that day.
Oh,
yeah, we did everything we could to get the album done, at least for the Rosfest people, to have a master for that. So, and I had I basically the day before Rosfest, or the day before I left the Rosfest, I picked up the CDs. So this is the one that we sold at the Rosfest. So it has, same album. It just has, it doesn't have the book in it,
I like that how trippy it is there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the CD is
It's
going to
very
look
cool.
the same. The back's going to
Yeah.
look the same. The front's going to be the same. But yeah, but it'll have, the book, the 16-page booklet. And this one just has like a digital link, so you could check out the booklet
Oh, that's cool.
with the lyrics and the art and credits and see who played what. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. That was a crazy week because trying to get the album done, trying to rehearse, get all my equipment packed up, and figuring out how to get all that through the security at the airport. I mean, that was new to me.
It's a nightmare.
That was a crazy. I still need a massage from carrying all that equipment. And oh my God, I think next weekend I'll finally be able to get a massage. Excited.
Yeah, that's a tough thing, just carrying the equipment, I know, was it in the chat room, Kevin Feely, he was telling me some stories about Nearfest. Now that was the big one, that they had
Yeah.
from I forget what year it started, and I think it ended like 2012.
Yeah.
Like the last one. But you haven't really had anything up north since Rossfest moved down to Sarasota. Because that was about four years ago, maybe.
That was
Didn't there used to be one in Ohio?
Yeah,
No,
Ohio had one, but that was, I think, last one was like 6 or 7 years ago. But yeah, Ohio had some prog thing. Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Once in a while, there's stuff going on in the Chicago area.
Yeah, Chicago has they've been doing that every year, so I think that's been constant. What's it called? I can't remember right now. But that was in at Reggie's. I think that's at Reggie's bar.
Yeah,
in Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah, they were getting kind of scared that through the pandemic it would have shut it down for good, but I think they're opening up and doing some shows there.
Yeah, that seems like, I've never been there, but it seems really cool because they have like the main stage and then they have like a side stage as well, so you could kind of go back and forth. And so it's kind of like a mini Coachella in a way, where you could see different bands at different venues.
Oh yeah, well, it's also cool too. Is like if you have two different stages, it saves setup time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Kevin Freely says, yeah, Prog Day in North Carolina.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Born in Georgia too.
Progtoberfest. That's the one in Chicago. Yeah, Progtoberfest.
Oktoberfest, yeah. And then it's Prog Stock is in New Jersey.
Yeah, that's the only northern one right now.
Yeah, and I went to the what was it at the New Jersey Prog Fest, New Jersey Prog House.
Yeah,
I went to. Yeah, they do stuff every now and then. They don't do festivals so much every now and then anymore, but they do like just one time shows. I think it's like every 2 or 3 weeks. But yeah, they used to have weekend shows, and I actually went to it was the homecoming, the New Jersey Prog homecoming that I went to. That was probably 2013, I think. That was really cool. Had had the lead singer from Ekelin there, and it had School Tree and what was he? Discipline was there, and a lot of great bands.
Oh yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah, so if you guys can get someone with money and do something in the LA area, or in the Southern California area. It doesn't necessarily have to be LA, but I think LA would probably be the best, because the first Prog Fest was at UCLA at the Royce Hall, and then the ones up to 97 were at the Variety Arts Center downtown. And then for 1 year, it moved up to San Francisco, and it didn't do that great up there. And it came back, and it was somewhere over by the place over by the Staples Center, and it just didn't have the same feeling for the final one in 2000. But, and then of course, right after that, we had Prague West, which only lasted 2 years. And then it was Cal Prague.
Yeah.
And there's also NorCal. I played there with Gecko Project. That was in San Francisco.
Whoa.
That was 2012, something like that.
Yeah, so it's
Just
like,
lasted 1 year. It just lasted 1 year.
yeah, California needs something, you know, and you can
Yep.
get in tourists, you know, people that never been to California.
Yeah.
I wonder though, having done Sarasota though, I wonder if the secret is not to do something like LA or whatever, but rather do something like Santa Cruz or San Luis Obispo, which is a bit more small town. So you're bumping into people all the time, because that was the brilliant thing about Sarasota. We literally couldn't walk a block without bumping into someone, and it was brilliant fun. I think in LA you'd lose that vibe.
Well, there are a lot of neat, quaint little venues in Ventura, and it's a very music-minded town. So we were actually, Jim and I were actually talking about that, about how, you know, that might be a good place to do something, have, you know, a whole day of, you know, a Saturday or something where you have, you know, 6 or 7 prog bands playing all day or something. There's some like neat little old renovated theaters and stuff like that in the Old Town Ventura area that are pretty nice. I'm trying to remember the name of the one. The Main, maybe? I can't think of the name of it, but the specific one we were talking about, but that seems like that could sort of fit that bill, like you were saying, Peter, about the small town feel. And there's lots of really cute little outdoor eating spots, and the weather is always perfect, and it's, you know, right by the ocean.
Exactly.
So that might be something good to explore too.
Exactly.
And then you may get some traffic coming down from like Santa Barbara and stuff too, you know, from that area, because it's not so centralized to downtown LA that people up there would be deterred, you know.
Maybe Oprah will come, you know.
And it's by the beach, which, you know, is a good enough reason to, okay, I'm going to go to a prog festival and get to go to the beach.
Oh yeah.
Which is cool. You know, for those who don't know, I'm sure everybody already knows that Peter has been in umpteen other prog projects, and I'm so glad that he joined Lobate Scarp.
Oh yeah.
Peter, tell me about some of your other projects. I'm kind of wanting to hear.
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm very happy to be part of Lobate Scarp. I fell in love with Adam's music before I joined, and there was some gig opportunity where he was without a guitarist, and I think 7 days before, I just reached out, said I'll do it, with no aspiration of joining, just to help him out and do it and for the fun of it. And a few years later, I got invited to actually join formally and be on the record and do the show at Rossfest. So I'm very glad to be part of that. I'm in an East Coast band called Kinetic Element. In fact, we had a band meeting this morning at 9 o'clock in the morning, because they're talking about what they want to do. Apparently, we may be doing some festival overseas. I don't know if that will happen or not, but and doing a third album with them, second studio album and the live album. And then I've been in other bands like Bomber Goggles and Gecko Project. I did 2 or 3 albums with them. And Evolve 4 was my very first band in the US. And then I had a couple of bands in England before I moved out here. But so yeah, I'm very lucky to do a lot of different things. But this has been brilliant fun, and working with Adam and Stephen and company has been amazing.
Likewise, really, sir. Thank you. Yeah, it's been great having Peter in the band. I mean, he's just so, not only is he great, it's just like playing and the way he plays, and his style just fits the band. But yeah, he just adds a lot, you know, personality wise. He's awesome. He's one of the nicest guys I know. But he just adds so much to the band, as far as, you know. And then, you know, even if I have something like written, you know, he'll add his little flair to it, or he'll come up with an idea, which is usually always great. So it's always a pleasure to have him in the band.
Thank you.
Well, you know, the one thing that I noticed when I've been listening to the album, it's like you guys sound like a prog band, but you don't have the, what is it? I think it's, you know, you don't have where you sound like someone else. Where,
Mm.
you know, a lot of the bands, they're trying too hard. You know, with
Yes.
either the guitar player's trying to sound, you know, maybe like Hackett or
Right.
how, you know, they're trying to sound like someone else instead of letting their own talents come out. And that's what I've seen with, you know, and heard with your band is,
Yeah.
you know,
I'm
you don't,
trying not to sound like, I mean, that's the thing I'm always kind of struggling with. I'm like, ooh, does this part sound like too much like this or this? You know, because I mean, obviously, you know, we all have our influences, but you know, I don't want it to sound like anything. I don't want people, because when I listen to songs, I'm always like, oh, that sounds like that one part in that one song. So I don't want to be, I don't want to have people do that. I mean, of course they will. I'm sure I can't, obviously, you know, that's going to happen no matter what, but I'm trying to not, you know, I try my best not to sound like anybody in particularly. I just don't want it
Right.
to sound like Lobate, Scarp, you know, whatever it is that we sound like.
And we've been subject to the inevitable comparisons. You know, we get Kansas a lot. You guys sound like
Yeah.
Kansas. Of
As
course,
soon as
Rush,
you have a
you guys-
violinist, yeah. So
Right.
if
Well,
you
yeah.
have a violinist, then you sound like Kansas.
Exactly.
right, yeah,
And I think one of the mistakes that a lot of or some prog bands make is they're very focused on showing off their virtuosity and their talents, but they lose the heart of what they're trying to do. So the songs just sound like, so you're listening
Yeah.
to, you know, and the next song, you know,
yeah.
so Adam's music has the hooks so that every song sounds different and every song is recognizable and memorable.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
strong melodies, Adam.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
That's the
Cheryl
one
in
thing
the
is,
chat room, by the way, says that she's been listening to the album on her drive and it's fucking fantastic. Say fucking on
Can we
live
do it?
yeah,
YouTube.
yeah, we can.
That's what she said. So
Oh, thank you, Cheryl.
Yeah,
Sorry to
it's
interrupt.
just,
What were you saying, Ron?
I was just saying that, you know, like you said, memorable. You know, the songs are memorable. They stay in your head after the CD has stopped, or if you have it on a thumb drive in your car, or you have it you know, an MP3, listening to it on your computer, you know, whatever it is, once you finish listening to it, it just stays with you. And that's one of the things that I like about
My husband has mentioned that Lobate Scarp is like the soundtrack to our life now for like the past 2 months because of between me studying it and listening to it. And, you know, he worked on the string arrangements with Steve and just, you know, all this stuff. He's like, it's when we're not actually hearing it, it's still in our heads, you know, so it's just always going.
And that's how I met Christina, by the way. So Christina's husband, Jim, he, you know, he's great at notating. He knows his way around Sibelius, or was that what you were using?
Finale.
Finale.
Finale, yeah.
Yeah. So Steve had all that. So I wrote the melodies of all the, you know, the main strings, like what I had in mind as far as the arrangement. And then Steve kind of took that and he embellished for the string quartet, and then he took it to Jim, and so he was like, "Get this music out of my head." And so
I
Jim,
literally
like,
was singing him lines and like, I don't
Exactly.
know
So
what this
Jim put it
rhythm
all
is,
on
but
the
it's got to go
computer.
accent, and then he would just, you know, okay, like this, and you play it back, and of course, Finale sounds like, you know, Looney Tunes when you play it back. So we had to somehow.
They
And poor
printed it all
Christina,
up, and they gave
one
it to the
night we
string
were up
quartets.
till like I don't know, like I think we were up till 8 a.m. and Jim's printing charts, and then I like literally drove straight to the string session. So I mean, like, thank you for letting us invade your house
Oh my god.
for like a week.
Yeah, and so that's how I met Christina, because you know, I was looking for a violinist, and you know, and I remember Jim was like, "Oh yeah, my wife, you know, plays violin." I think you were in China maybe at the time or something.
No, I was in Ohio.
You're out of town, yeah. Ohio,
Yeah.
China, same, right?
It's like, so
China was at the beginning of the pandemic. That's
Yeah.
that's a whole other story.
And he was like, you know, he was kind of playing it down, like, you know, yeah, you know, like, you know, she likes Yes, and you know, she likes Prague, and I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't even really think too much of it, but I just
didn't know I
remember
was like a psycho Yes freak.
I had no idea. I didn't. So, but when I asked you to join the band, and then we started getting to talk, and then you were like, "Yes, my favorite band." And then I realized that she's seen Yes more times than I have, which is crazy because Yes is my favorite band, and she used to see Yes like 5 or 6 times in a tour back in the day. So and she knows Haken, and she knows all these prog bands that like, you know, most people like on the, you know, like most people who know like mainstream prog, they might not know, but she's aware of all that stuff, and I had no idea, you know, and she's a great player, and she loves being in a prog band. So I mean, it just worked out so amazingly. I still
Really
can't
brilliantly.
believe it.
And she has a 5-string violin, which I don't know if anyone notices, but Adam has this penchant for writing violin parts that are actually viola parts. So like the solo at the beginning of You Have It All, that's viola.
But you know, so Andrea Wood, who used to play with us, you know, she was a viola player, and so a lot of that stuff that I wrote was for viola, like, you know. So I'm not just writing violin parts.
So with that fifth string, it's like, you know, having a MIDI violinist that can play any part.
Which incidentally, that violin I bought 3 weeks before Rod's Fest. So
no
pressure. I actually picked it up 2 days before our first gig that we had. So I was like getting used to it really, really quickly. But it's been great. I love it. It's like the guitar that Peter has there, the Yamaha silent violin. It's a Yamaha silent guitar he has there.
Oh.
Yeah. I guess I can show you. I have it over here.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Show and tell.
Look.
Here it is.
Oh.
There it is.
Ooh,
Ah.
That's pretty cool. I wish I need to get a keyboard that has like a hole.
Like a holder, like no.
Yeah. A guitar like that. That'd be cool.
Silent guitar.
Yeah.
Is there a silent bass?
Yeah, we were actually talking about that
wish.
before you signed on. And I actually made that joke, Andy. I was, but then I said I didn't mean it because we love your playing.
That's what Ron was talking about. That concert he went to with the duo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I've noticed is that, I mean, I haven't gotten to join in the rehearsals since the current lineup has come together, but I just keep hearing about how much fun they're all having, and that makes my heart sing because
we like each other.
They have fun.
Can you believe that?
we in Florida, we were laughing our heads off. I mean, we would go out for lunch and dinner, and it wasn't like, oh, not these guys again, and what are we going to talk about this time? Well, except for, you know, but really, we had a lot of fun. We were laughing all the time and telling jokes, and it was brilliant fun. It was literally like family camp, and I missed it a lot when I came back because we had such a good time.
We're not like the police.
Definitely seems like I've known these guys way longer.
So buy the record so that these guys can go on tour more and get more time.
Exactly.
Yeah, and buy the record so we can make another record so Christina could play on that record, because she's not on this one, unfortunately. We got a lot of great string artists on the album, but Christina didn't join the band until after we finished recording it. So
Adam actually asked me if I was available to play, and that was when I was in Ohio, so I couldn't play on it. So. And I was like, oh no, a prog band asked me to play on their album and I can't do it, you know, but it worked out.
Christina, Kevin Freely in the chat room asked, is that a Viper violin?
It's a Yamaha SV255. Yeah.
And this is a Yamaha as well, so they obviously specialize in these, you know, silent instruments.
This is a Yamaha as well. This is a Yamaha motif.
My mom rode a Yamaha motorcycle.
We need to get a sponsorship.
I know. I've actually been talking about that. I need to. I've been looking at. I have all the information about becoming a Yamaha artist, but I just haven't done it yet. So
that'd be cool.
Yeah, Yamaha is a cool company.
And this is a Yamaha musical note.
Oh, little known fact: when we did In the Nights 1 and 2, our keyboard programmer Michael Bernard programmed a Yamaha DX8. Or TX8, which is like a DX7 times 8. And so it was the classic DX7 Rhodes piano, digital crystal piano, like stacked in a chorus.
Wow.
That's the sound.
We really are a Yamaha band.
Right.
Well, this isn't a Yamaha, but as long as they were doing show and tell, I have this weird cello.
Oh,
Nice. What is it?
It's the brand is Chase Celio. It's not a Yamaha.
wow.
Oh, yeah. I know that brand. Yeah.
Very cool.
I love that infinity thing on it.
Yeah.
Shape.
So just kind of a fun thing.
Now you
Nice.
were talking about that song, In the Night. You got 1, 2, and then 3 is within flowing through the change. Are you guys gonna like that band Saga where they had it continuing, on in each album afterwards? Or
In the Night part 47 is gonna be.
That's a good idea.
I didn't have that plan. I mean, if inspiration comes to me, maybe, but yeah, that's not the plan in the works right
Right.
now.
We are now.
You know,
I didn't
actually,
even think about the idea at all, but now, it might be roasting my brain, and it might just
there
happen.
you go.
when we were at Michael Bernard's, I had thought about doing a full-length version of that song just to see what evolved, but we ended up, having so many keyboards to record that there was no way that would have happened.
Yeah,
But I
because
thought
Steve
about-
was like, "We need it longer." I'm like, "It's prog." It's like, so In the Night is, it's our first song that's less than a minute. So he's like, "No, it needs to be longer." I'm like,
it's like trying to make a statement because we got all these long songs and then we have 2 really short songs under a minute.
Yeah.
So I actually kind of think it worked
Crimson
out.
does it. We can do it.
Yeah.
King Crimson does it. It's all
Exactly.
right.
Yeah.
It's
I think
legit.
that's very prog. It's very prog to have a very long song and then a minute little song.
well, I just wanted something little, couple little interludes just to kind of break up the listening experience. So
You can
I
go to
think
the
it kind of
bathroom.
worked the way
Oh, like
it
a
did with-
palate cleanser.
exactly. Yeah.
Well, not
Yeah.
only that, but And We Tried, which is on Spirals and Portals, the EP, was the only song that didn't make it on You Have It All, the LP. And so that song kind of has a little bit Tears for Fears sound to it, a little bit of a similar vibe to In the Night. So I think
Mhm.
kind of the homage to that as well. There was, that would have been this record's moment
Yeah.
from Time and Space. There was a song called Moment. And, Adam and I really both love Tears for Fears. Rich has worked with Tears for Fears. So,
yeah.
if you want to hear something that's not on this record, go buy Spirals and Portals and you'll hear And We Tried.
Good
It's a
song.
lovely
Yeah.
song.
And you'll hear the original mix of Nothing Wrong as well, which is a little different from our album mix, which Ron has
And
pointed
if you
out.
don't, and then if you don't have the first album or the EP, go buy it. And then when is the official release? Because we had some guy on Facebook kind of upset.
Yesterday. I mean, our yesterday is our official release. So it was May
release,
6th.
and then
Bandcamp.
the Bandcamp, but then
Mhm.
Yesterday
something
was the
about June.
digital release, and then the official CDs with the books just got ordered. So those will be here around June 15th, right, Adam?
Yeah, I think they're going to
If-
start
if-
shipping out June 15th. So at Bandcamp right now, you could buy the CD. And when you do that, you'll immediately be able to download the album in its entirety. So you'll have the album right away. But then you'll just have to wait till like mid-June to get the CD version. But it's out.
Yeah.
The album is officially out in
Yeah.
the world.
It's out in the world for everybody to digest,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah,
And also, you
Yeah.
can go to gotprog.com. That's our Indiegogo site. And so if you wanted more, if you don't feel like you had enough of
Or
You
had
Have
it
It
all.
All, if you don't
Yeah,
have it all,
yeah. I was
you
just
feel like
gonna
you don't
say
have
that.
it all, you could go to gotprog.com and get even more. There's going to be like a digital collection, which will have like demos and videos and alternate takes and other things like that. And you could also package it with t-shirts and the EP CD if you don't have that and things like that. So extra
Unless
perks.
you need a small T-shirt.
I know I got to order. Christina's a tiny person, so I need to order a tiny t-shirt just for her.
And maybe at some point for the digital collection, we'll actually take the strings quartet parts and just put those as instrumentals. I think
that'd be
that would be
great.
really cool.
Are you giving yourself homework, Steve?
You don't
Not
need-
yet. Maybe in 2 months from now, after I've slept for a week.
Yeah, so if haven't already, people out there ordered the CD. For me, I'm one of those physical media people. I like to have the CD in my hand. I know there's people out there that just strictly digital. There's that, so it's like you got pretty much every format covered.
Yeah, the digital is great because especially like if you go to Bandcamp, you could kind of download any format you want. You could download multiple formats. The 24-bit sounds amazing. The 24-bit version sounds so good. When you get the CD, of course, you're getting only the 16-bit version, but it still sounds pretty good. I heard the master the other day, and it's in my car, and my car usually doesn't sound good at all. So I know it sounds good.
Well, they'll make all formats except vinyl, and Adam would really like to do the vinyl, and we have our mastering engineer for the EP has a vinyl lathe, so we actually would love to do that. But this album will have to sell really, really well,
exactly,
to be able to afford to do vinyl. So if
I got to catch up, financially right now, and then
I mean, just to give you an idea, the money that we raised on Indiegogo like basically almost covered mixing costs, but we had a lot of recording and mastering and instrumentalists and other things. I mean, Adam really did a lot of this on his own and with the help of family and things like that. So if anybody is a benefactor and really, really loves what we did, you can still support us on Indiegogo, and I think any large sum of money that comes Adam's way will just help him like pay for some of this, and that's as Ron has talked about, the reality of music right now is difficult. There's not a lot of physical product getting sold, and streaming doesn't get you paid very much. So, I think it was smart of Adam. Right now, it's only on Bandcamp. It'll only be on Bandcamp for a while, and that's because Adam gets to keep more of the money from the sales.
Yeah, the cool thing is about Bandcamp,
the labor of love.
Exactly. Yeah, and the cool thing about Bandcamp is like they have a thing set up where like so if you want the CD, it's $17. If you want the digital album, it's $10. But you could also like pay what you want, which is kind of cool, or pay at least that. So so if you want, you could pay me $100 and I'll automatically sign I'll bring it to the band. I'll travel down to San Diego and give
and $100 will pay for we'll help. The $100 will pay for the CD DVD maker that we had to pay for yesterday.
Oh yeah, I gotta reimburse you for that. Thanks for reminding me. But
I'm gonna try to donate a little bit more myself. So as a matter of fact, I'm going to flow through my change here.
He's flowing with the change.
The vinyl, we definitely need to get a vinyl out for sure. A lot of people have been asking me about that. I just got to figure out, what we're the best to go to for that, and what'll be worth it, because it's definitely probably going to be at least $20 to $30 a unit to make. Because it's going to have to be a double vinyl. Like we have the 14-minute track on side B and the 17-minute track on side D, and of course we want all the artwork in there and stuff like that. So that's definitely going to take some time to make, and but it would be worth it, because especially all the vintage keys that we recorded on it, I think those are going to sound like really nice and thick on vinyl, and it's got just an old school feel to it. So I just think overall, I mean, the album really was meant to go on vinyl. So that's going to happen. It's just a matter of when.
Well, that's good. For people that love vinyl, I mean, if I had the space in where I live, I would have the vinyl. It's just for that, to hear it better. But we got. So it's like me being CDs, and I know a few people friends on Facebook that they only order digital. And one guy says, "Well, you're really hung up on physical media," and I said, "I really am. I never thought I would be, but it's like over the years, it's just the collection just getting more and more, and I was like, well, I'm proud of having this stuff, and it's my way of supporting the bands, like yourselves, to get on your, the Indiegogo thing that I did, after Adam reminded me several times, you're going to do it this month. And I go, I got to check the finances, and I had a good month, and I said, I'm going for it,
Yeah. By the way, impressive physical collection all behind you.
Oh, thanks.
Very impressive stuff on the
And then of
top
course,
shelf.
I'll just point to it.
Oh, okay. Little
Postcard.
postcard. There you go.
Yeah, no, the artwork, for those of you that do get the 12-page book, the artwork is amazing. It's absolutely stunning. This is David A. Hardy's cover. David A. Hardy is the world's oldest living space artist. And then the inner work that's inside of the album, there's a lot more of this beautiful fractal artwork. And it's like when the first time Adam showed it to me, I was stunned. Like,
my friend Emma did all the artwork in the inside and the album layout, and she was amazing. She did the first, she did Time and Space as well, that booklet in there, and so it was great to have her back again, and great to have David A. Hardy back again.
This one is totally inspired.
Yeah.
When you go through the booklet and you're listening to the songs, it's like, it's like a Yes cover, I think, every page to me. So I can't say enough about getting the physical disc if you can dig it, even if you plan to listen to it on digital, just so you can thumb through the book, because it's very well done.
Well, and the whole that whole experience, I don't know, for me, the whole experience of, the day that an album's going to be released, you're like waiting in line at the store, and you like can't wait, and you like, you like bring it home and you like open it up, and there's just like there's that excitement, that, I mean, yes, it's definitely exciting to, download, to like wake up insanely early, so you, on the day when you can download something for the first time, and I won't admit to having done that, but I have. But there's that, I don't know, there's that nostalgia to going back and to the days when that was the way to do it. You had to wait for the album to come out, and you had to just like physically be there, and you were there with your friends, you were all excited, and if you couldn't all afford the album, then like one person bought this album, the other person that bought that album, and then you would all like get together and listen to all the albums, and it was just,
and
I don't
tape
know.
them.
What's that?
And tape them.
Yes, all the mixtapes that came out of that. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there are a couple people on Bandcamp and Indiegogo and that I know of, and and then they're like, hey, just to let you know, I haven't listened to the album yet. I don't want to until I get the CD, because they just want to have that physical experience.
Right.
So I mean, good for them. I mean, they're super patient. That's great. But yeah, I mean, so that's kind of interesting.
I think we should bring back music listening parties where we just go over and listen to. My friend years ago had a vinyl party where he called it an organ party. So we brought music that had organ in it, and so I brought Closer to the Edge.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
good.
By Yes, and it was fun.
There used to be a guy in San Diego that had these parties where one weekend it was Italian prog, next weekend French, and then if it was Italian, they had an Italian meal, French.
Andy could cook for us.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah,
something like
Andy,
that.
We're invading your new house, and we're gonna have a listening party. I didn't know.
That sounds great.
We should just have someone like spin the globe and then just point at the country. All right, we're listening to prog from this country right now.
You're all welcome. You're all invited.
Andorra.
Lithuanian prog. Bam.
Andorra.
You're all invited. You're all invited to come over.
Montenegrin prog.
Prog from Vanuatu.
Right. So guys, I have another appointment I have to get to, so I'm going to have to sign off the
all right.
episode.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, and great.
Good to see you, Andy. Thanks for stopping by.
Nice seeing you again, Andy. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Fashionably late and cutting out early. He's too
Man,
cool
I'm so
for
glad we got
school,
rid of
isn't he?
him. Oh my god. This guy.
Now we can talk badly about him. I love Andy. Andy's such a cool guy and such an amazing bass player.
Oh yeah.
Really a cool guy.
Yeah. So fun to talk to, and so fun to play music with too. He's just right into it.
I've known Andy for about 20 years now. Oh my god, it boggles my mind. It's so great.
Fun fact, he has so many basses that he almost has no room for them all. And on this record, I think we had a different bass on every song. And I think on Flowing, we maybe had 3 different basses.
Yep.
Wow.
Wow.
And
So,
he
yeah, I
bought
told
he
Adam-
bought a bass at Rosfest.
He bought a bass at Rosfest the day before the show.
I told Adam that we ought to just do an Instagram series where it's like the bases of You Have It All, where it's just like a post a day for each song, you know, with all the bases.
Why not do it?
Yeah.
You know, everybody else is doing. I mean, at least that's going to be an entertaining thing. I mean, some of the stuff on Instagram, I don't know. It's just like, you know, who cares?
I have a bunch of those videos with this, because every time he took a bass out of his case, I filmed it and I had him describe like where he got the bass and
Oh, nice.
you know. So
You should
I
do
definitely
that,
I'm gonna
'cause-
put it all together. That's
My all-time
because we're always
favorite
talking about
was
Good.
Go Pete.
I was going to say that we're always talking about guitarists and their millions of guitars, but bass would be actually very interesting. You should do that.
My all-time favorite was the 1969 Vox Continental that he had, which I guess is the Cars bass. But the thing is, he has like an original, and the thing has a hollow body, and the pickups on it sound incredible. And he played it on You Have It All, and it's just mind-blowing. Like the tone of this thing is just, it even has like built-in distortion if you want to turn it on. It's like just bananas sounding good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess the next thing for you guys is more gigs. So anybody out there that wants to book you guys, I'll put all links down below so people will be able to find you. And if not, just go to Facebook and look up Lobate Scarp or Instagram.
Yeah.
And get in contact with the band and get these guys out there playing some shows.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, we'd love to travel some more and do some festivals and maybe a boat or two or a canoe or
A canoe.
Everybody has their own little
A
canoe.
dinghy.
yeah.
Everybody's on their own dinghy.
You need waterproof in-ear monitors.
Hey Ron, did you get a chance to listen to the album yet? I don't know.
Yeah,
through. Do you have a
listened.
favorite moment or like a favorite song?
It actually just, for me, it flows so well that it feels like it's almost like one song just kind of going.
Ooh, I like that. That's
I think you did it on purpose because
yeah.
there's really no. I mean, I have stopped it in parts, based on time, but I listened to it last night. I put it on the thumb drive and then just stuck it on my Roku TV and just sat there listening to it right there while I was just relaxing in bed, and it was just perfect.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, because that's one of the things that we really try to do. I really like that AOR format, the album-oriented rock format, where you just listen to the whole album from beginning to end. And it's experience. You got the ups, you got the downs, and it gets soft, it gets heavy, but it's meant to go from track 1 all the way through the end of track 9. And that's kind of like.
And the best way to listen to it is on the headphones, I think.
Oh, absolutely. With Rich Mauser's insane, incredible mix. Always headphones.
Yeah, there's a lot of ear candy there.
I don't know. I think whenever I listen to music when it's coming out of speakers, by the time it gets from the speakers to my ears, something seems to be always missing. But whenever I listen to anything on the headphones, I get the whole picture, every little noise that's there. I get to hear it. So,
and it's kind of cool, kind of listening to the speakers and then putting on your headphones, and then you're going to hear something that you hadn't heard, like
exactly
just by listening to speakers. Like, oh, I didn't even hear that part. Or
I have it in my car.
Cool.
And I have it in the house. I have it, on my computer. So
yeah,
I've got a different
everywhere. Put it everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere. So, and then of course, the CD. Oh, it's like, it's just, it's important to me. It's important to have the physical media because then it shows not only for me, but then it also shows, oh, he actually supported the band, even though it's just a CD, but it's, you know, if everybody did that, it's like, you know, it'd be so helpful.
Kevin
You know.
Freely says get better speakers.
Oh,
Hey, Kevin, my birthday is coming up. I would love speakers. Thank you.
yes.
I just upgraded the speakers in my studio, and I was very happy with listening to it on those speakers.
Oh yeah. Yeah. My thing is like my computer is about 3 or 4 years old. I do need to get something newer, you know, and who knows, one day I will.
I
Yeah, I
actually
mean,
enjoy listening like in different, you know, like you said, listening on headphones, but then listening on speakers and listening different, because I think it's nice to hear it differently. You know, you pick up on different things, and different things sort of draw you in, and then you get sort of the full picture, and then when you hear it in your head, it sort of merges all those things. You know.
And I kind of like to listen to it loud. So speakers, I mean, headphones are perfect for me because I don't annoy the neighbors.
yeah, what's interesting is in the mixing profession now, a lot of people will listen on their phone speaker or on their laptop speaker. So you kind of have to have it sounding good everywhere, and it's a challenge. But at least with prog fans, I know that 98% of you are going to be listening to it somewhere really nice. So as nice as you can.
Well, you know, if you have it on your
particular.
What?
I mean, I understand if someone has it on their phone, if they're out and about, you know, and they want to listen to some music, but to get you know, for me personally, the best experience is headphones, you know, where you basically, you know, there's a t-shirt out there that says, headphones on, world off.
Yeah, nice.
Exactly.
You know, and that's what it is. Whenever I put on my headphones, I don't want to be, someone left.
Oh, Peter.
Lost Peter.
Oh no.
Someone tripped over the internet.
Oh, I just got a text from Peter. He said he quit the band.
He's rejoining.
No.
Hey.
There you are.
Is.
Oh, so I just dropped out. Like I didn't know if it was you guys or me, but
It's not
Sorry
you,
about
it's
that.
me.
It was something you said. We were tired of the British accent.
Nah.
Yeah, me too.
Never tired of that.
Just kidding.
I could just listen to you reading books, you know, just like you could read me to sleep, Peter.
Is that an invitation?
On my headphones, of course.
Be careful what you wish for, right?
All of a sudden, there's a knock at your door. And
Well, you know, I think unless you have something else you want to say about the album, or
I don't know.
I think we covered pretty much everything.
Anyone?
You know, and I'm,
Any questions in the chat room that are
Oh yeah, any
burning
questions
or pertinent
in the chat room?
yeah,
Nikki, Cheryl,
yeah, because you got a
Kevin.
chat room now. That's like a whole new vibe. People can interact and stuff.
oh yeah.
Yeah, this has been
First-
great. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah,
And thanks for joining
thank
us
you,
in the
Rob.
chat room, everybody. And Ron, yeah, thanks for having us back.
great.
Oh, you're
Glad-
welcome.
Glad you're digging the record.
I am. I mean, it's really right up there. Even though the year just started, I think I kind of predict it's going to be on a lot of top 10 lists.
I'll take
Great.
that.
I hope so.
Mhm.
I had a friend. I don't know if anybody knows. I had a friend who just sent me a message. I was at Barnes and Noble the other day, and I saw something about Lobate Scarp in a prog magazine. So I don't know if it's prog magazine or if it was the review, or I don't know what it is. So I actually might head over to. I mean, does anybody know in the chat room? I don't know.
Whoa,
they're supposed to be doing a review of the album, but I haven't seen it yet or heard anything about it.
That would be amazing.
I might just
Yeah,
have to
that'd be
take a
great.
trip to Barnes and Noble, see if I could find anything. I don't know. But that's interesting. Yeah, because I literally just like half an hour before I got on the interview, he told me, and he's not really like a prog guy, so I don't think he. But I mean, I guess he was probably going through it to.
It
see if we
probably
were in
said
there.
Lobster Scarf. And
Maybe.
he got confused.
Lobster Scarp.
Yeah, most people can't spell the band name and never heard of it. So, there's been plenty of other interviews about origin stories, but yeah, people have trouble spelling Lobate Scarp because it's a sciencey word or two words. And so, yeah, he's been introduced as Lobster Scarf. And what else, Adam? Like
Lobate. That's a big one. Lobate Scarp.
That's if you're-
Lobate Scarf. Yeah.
Well, what did they say at Alva's?
I think he said low fate shark.
Yo, low fate shark. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's
Well,
nothing wrong with Adam's life. He's naming his band what he wants to do.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah, people,
Okay.
I'll respond to anything. If you want, you could call me asshole and I'll say yes, Just kidding.
Okay, I gotta ask the origin of the name. I don't know if I asked it the last
How we
time.
got the name or
Yeah.
what it is?
How you got the name, what it is,
Well, I was with a cappella group called Blind Man's Bluff, and we were touring the East Coast. On our day off, we went to the Smithsonian Aerospace Museum in DC, and there was an Apollo to the Moon exhibit. There was a wall of quotes from different astronauts. I don't remember who said it, but I saw on the wall, it said, I'm observing lobate scarps on the surface of Mercury. And I was like, I don't know what that is, but that's the name of my next band, Lobate Scarp. So I didn't even know what it was. It just came to me. And at the time I was actually writing some stuff that would become Lobate Scarp music. And then later on in the hotel room, I looked it up and it looked like lobate means irregular shape. And I was like, oh yeah, well, I kind of want the band to be kind of irregular. And then scarps were, escarpments. So they're like mountain ridges. So they kind of go up and down. So I was like, oh yeah, kind of like music, sometimes you're soft, sometimes you're loud, so I thought that worked. And it's a space term. It's a geographical formation on planets and on the moon. And so I was like,
That's
yeah, I
what we
kind of
are.
want the band to be a little spacey and irregular, and all kind of works out.
Like all the band members, spacey and irregular.
That's right. That's right. So there you
Well,
go.
speak for
That's-
yourself.
Yeah.
I am.
well, there, I'm sure, some people out there wanted to know that, hopefully, because, some band names, you can see some, they're obvious, and others not so obvious, So it's good to know, origins of where the name came from, and most importantly, what it meant to you. It's like it could be something that means something different to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And
Cool.
especially like this album, we just got we got this amazing review on progarchy.com. He gave the album 5 stars, A+, 10 out of 10,
Oh, there you go.
all in one review. And in the middle of the review, he's made like a whole concept album. It wasn't supposed to be a concept album, but he's made a whole story out of it. It makes
It
sense to
worked.
me.
Yeah, it worked.
Just reading
Yeah,
about
it's very
it.
cool.
But it was kind of cool how he all put it together, so different songs can mean different things to different people, and obviously it meant something really cool to him, and it just kind of
That's the wonderful thing
so cool.
about it. When prog bands make their albums, whether it's a concept album or their pieces, similar themes to it, where each of the audience gets something different out of it. So it's like there's no like wrong answer to what it means to you, because it just touches you differently than the next band, and so on.
Yeah, and especially if you go through different life experiences, you're going to listen to the same song under different circumstances, and you're going to it's going to have different meanings That, you know, songs like that, like a lot of Yes songs to me are like that. You know, when I listened to them in high school, they were completely different emotional experience from, you know, when I listen to it now, you know, having gone through different things in my life. You know, it's really cool how that all affects you.
What was amazing to me was that the story that arc that he described in that review was pretty much identical to what my concept of the album was.
Oh,
when
wow.
making it. Yeah, I don't know if I've even told you this, Adam, but yeah, working with you has been so transformative for me because we've got to do bigger and bigger things. And of course, the experience of not just making the record, but the lyrics and the message and things like that have in some ways paralleled my life as I was living it. Because we started our journey with Time and Space, I don't know, 2008. You know, it took 5 years to make that record. And so by the time it came out in 2012, I was a whole new person. And, you know, I think to me, what You Have It All speaks of is the idea that we live in a benevolent universe. And I know it's really hard to think that way living on Earth right now because things are pretty fucked up. But basically, you know, like someone said that to me once, like, you know, there are two kind of people, those who believe that the world is out to get them and those who believe that they live in a benevolent universe. And ironically, as I've made that shift to understanding that that life is undergirded by love, it sort of changed my life in a way, because I think just even the human bias towards negativity, if you can overcome that negativity bias and you realize that there's good everywhere and you like look toward that, then good comes to you. And so to me, You Have It All is that message, and that may be personal to me and it may be different for someone else, but that's why I resonated with, you know, especially the title track with John Davison on it, is that, you know, that benevolent universe theory of like, hey, there's love out there and it's looking for you and it's trying to give you every opportunity to grow and to thrive. And I think with Adam getting to finally make this CD, we saw that kind of come to pass in a way where all these dreams were coming true.
All your dreams are coming true. Yeah.
Yeah. And to me, that's just like it's like you say it and then it happens because you believe it and then it's possible. And so if you let that be possible, and you open up to the possibility, you're not busy shutting down the possibilities, but you're actually opening to what life has for you. And it may not look exactly like what you want. I think some of Adam's songs do speak with that. There is Waking in Fear in the Night. There are these difficult moments, but you know, to me, like the lyrics in the project and the way that the music flows with that and kind of has these parallels to, I think, what, you know, my consciousness shift was, and that's what made me just love working on the album so much, because there was always that like kind of layer of like, this is meant to happen. Like this has to be. So that's why I put my heart and soul into it, because I really felt like, you know, that was the vision that Adam had from the beginning. So whether he meant to say those things or not, like that's what was amazing about that review, because I was like, yeah, to me, that's what the record is about. So
well, that's so great. Thanks for sharing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't think I can top. I can't say anything after that, because I mean, you can't top what he just said.
So
That's
listen to the
awesome,
album, and you don't even have to really pay attention to what's being said. But I think just the music says it in a way that's just, you know, so transcendent. And you know, obviously Beautiful Light, which we worked on 5 years ago, that was a transformative experience as well, and very spiritual message and just uplifting. And, you know, I think it's just so positive to work on music that's uplifting. And so listen to the record and you'll feel good.
That's why I make these albums. You know, I want to, you know, get that positivity out there and you know, make people feel just feel good about themselves and about you know, and about the world, you know. And
oh yeah, you know, that's the one thing is with me is the music has always been the thing that kind of keeps me sane and kind of like what you said, kind of sane in an almost insane world. You know, it's like the world is like chickens running around without their heads. And it's like, so the music is really the only thing that kind of, for me personally, that grounds me. It's like all of a sudden I escape into what, you know, whether it's a concept album or not, I escape into this world, you know, or that world. So it's like, it's perfect. I mean, music just does that for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Yes, Yes is my favorite band, and and Yes got me through some hard times, and and when I was growing up, and just that positivity, that those messages just like stuck to me, and that's kind of like where all this comes from. I kind of want to continue that energy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
well, music's such a gift. It really it gives so much, to our lives. It's really, if you just like step back and think about it, it's amazing.
yeah, and I know you guys got many, many more years of music to give to the prog community. So, we look forward to future output of the band and album, and for the people that are in your area, maybe they can get some festivals going back up. I keep on saying that because I think it's important
Yeah.
in that part of the
Mhm.
country. You got the population, you got things for people to do outside of, a family could come to California, father or the wife goes to see Prague, and the other spouse takes the children to Disneyland or something like that. Everybody wins that
Yeah.
way. So it can happen again if someone the right person out there gets content. So
Agreed.
So
Mhm.
in closing, I want to just tell everybody, go buy it. I think I posted that on Facebook. My review is go buy it.
Yeah, great review. Yeah, get it on Bandcamp, which is that's I love Bandcamp. It's great, and you could download the digital booklet with that, and as soon as you buy, if you want the physical disc, those are coming mid-June.
Mid-June.
But as soon as you buy the disc on Bandcamp, like if you go right there right now, Bandcamp, lobatescarp.bandcamp.com, find you have it all. Buy the disc, you'll be able to download the album immediately and enjoy it right away.
Yeah, there you go. And if you hadn't gotten the first disc or the EP, get those. You get them all at once and get a nice package in the mail when they're all the wonderful music.
Thank you so much, Ron, for having us.
Thank
thank
you
you, Ron.
guys for joining. And thank you for being. You guys are the first ones for the doing YouTube Live, and
Oh, yay!
the new day. Doing Saturdays now. I think it's going to be better. I think I'm going to reach more people this way.
Yeah, I think this is the way to go.
Yeah, very cool.
So thank you again for joining me. I really do appreciate it, and I hope someday soon I'll see you guys out in some club somewhere.
Us too. Thank you,
All
Ron.
right.
Thank you so
All
much,
right.
Ron.
All right, thank you,
Bye.
and talk to
Cheerio.
you guys soon.
Good to see all you guys again. I'll see you soon.
Bye.
All right.
Take
Bye.
care. Yes, bye.